Hello everyone, Logan here, and today I'll give a full-blown guide on the classes in Team Fortress 2. Just to clarify, I'll be talking about the 9 classes, what their role is, and general tips for them. So, let's get into it. There are 9 classes in TF2 and each one is based off of a general stereotype, but each with a bit of insanity along with them. Each class has custom weapons, cosmetics, and taunts they can get, with some of these items being for all classes. Although for reference I'll be talking about only the stock items because I don't want this to be too long. If I end up taking a more detailed look into these classes, I might take a look at other things. The first class is the Scout, a loud Boston boy with 125 health. He's the speediest class in the game, and their personality is very cocky and arrogant but with a little bit of care hidden away. One of Scout's main features is his high speed and double jump. He is very good for dodging things and throwing off hits due to the ability to change direction with his second jump. This makes it so for the first jump he could go like to the right, and then for the second one go to the left, so if a sniper was trying to shoot at him, that aim would be completely thrown off. The primary this character uses is the scattergun, a very close range shotgun with a massive bullet spread and high damage. It has 6 shots before having to reload, and this is very good for a hit and run style, getting really close to them, hitting for massive damage, then running off. Next is the secondary slot. Scout starts off with a medium range pistol which the engineer also has. This does high damage and has 12 shots before reloading. This is very good for picking off enemies which have either gotten out of the range of your scattergun or have just tried to run away. The final spot for Scout is his melee. Most classes follow these 3 weapon slots, and Scout has a bat. It's rather weak, doing 35 damage, and is used in very close combat with fast swing speed. This is good if you... Wait, no, this isn't good. Anything this can do, the scattergun can and will do better. I guess you could try and finish someone off with this, but I would recommend staying away from melee until you get a better one like Sandman. Scout can also capture points twice as fast in control points or King of the Hill game modes. For Scout, strafing, which is either pressing A or D to move sideways, is very important. Try and use this to aim more than your mouse, although moving both is best. The next class on our list is Soldier, a very serious drilled sergeant type. The Soldier has 200 health and the second slowest movement speed in the game. He has very powerful shots and the second highest health in the game, with no other effects active of course. His first weapon is a rocket launcher which does over 90 damage per shot with 4 shots before having to reload. This is most effective medium to long range and very good for just obliterating enemies. Hitting yourself with the rocket launcher will knock back and damage you. If you jump, crouch and shoot at the ground at the same time, you can fling yourself into the air, granting lots of movement. This is called rocket jumping. For his secondary, he has a shotgun with close range and 6 shots before reloading. Each shot fires 10 pellets which randomly spread. Each one does 6 damage if they hit. I would recommend using this to get yourself out of a close situation, like if you're too close to use your rocket launcher without hitting yourself, or if you're out of ammo for it. For Soldier's melee, he has a shovel. This is very close range and does 65 damage per hit. I would use this if you're really close to an enemy, and using your shotgun wouldn't be worth it because this does 5 more damage than the maximum a shotgun can. Tips for Soldier is rocket jumping, you know, the bouncy thing we mentioned earlier, and also trying to predict where your rockets will be by the time your rocket hits, as they travel slower than the average bullet. Also, making use of the splash rockets have is very good. You can do this by aiming at enemies' feet, making it harder to reflect or dodge. Next is Pyro. The totally insane maniac with fire is more close quarters based. With 175 health, Pyro is a beast at spy checking, which is the act of checking a team for spies. The primary weapon for Pyro is the flamethrower, which is a close range weapon with 200 ammo. And unlike the others, this isn't just best to use at close range, you can't use it outside of close range because the fire just stops. The fire is constant with no reloads and does a max of 153.5 damage per second. By right-clicking, the Pyro does an air blast attack which can reflect explosive projectiles such as soldiers' rockets and Demon's grenades. Doing this costs 20 ammo and can extinguish teammates which have been set on fire. This in turn will heal you 20 health. The fire also gives afterburn which can stop enemies healing, but can be put out with quite a few things like medkits and the Durate. This weapon is really good for protecting allies and ambushing enemies around corners or from above, but just don't try and reflect a sniper shot because as cool as that would be, it sadly doesn't work. The secondary slot is the shotgun. It's identical as the soldiers, so there's not much to say about it. The melee is a fire axe, which is just a reskin of the soldier's shovel. Yeah, not much for pyro. But anyways, general tactics are just trying to ambush enemies, spy checking. Like, a lot. And more spy checking. The way you do this is you set your enemies on fire. Seriously. It won't hurt them unless they're a spy pretending to be that teammate, and if they cloak, which is going invisible, the afterburn will still reveal where they are. Now we have the demoman, a Scottish drunk. He always goes around just blowing everything up. He has 175 health and excels at making traps, and just jumping into sentry nests while Ubered are making several NGs of rage quit. The primary is a grenade launcher, which is medium range but can shoot 4 shots before reloading, each shot doing 100 damage, but these grenades can bounce around and if they miss, doing 20 to 64 damage. This is amazing for crowd control and destroying buildings, so try and do that. The demo secondary is a sticky bomb launcher which fires sticky grenades. It can fire this 8 times before having to reload, and can have 8 out at once. This can be used to make traps, and right-clicking will detonate these. So, once they have been stuck to a surface, and after a short delay, each one will do 103 to 138 damage. And these can also fling you in the air like Soldier, allowing you to jump around. But be careful when using these, because too many of them at once will just kill you outright. Try and use 1 or 2 at a time when jumping. Demo's melee is a glass bottle again, and this has the same stats as the other melee weapons. Demo destroys buildings really well with his explosives and can make amazing traps. Also his mobility is really good, so just go have some fun and blow some people up. Heavy weapons guy, or Heavy, is the typical dumb Russian brute in battle, but outside he's rather smart with a PhD in Russian literature. Heavy has 300 health and the slowest movement speed in the game. His first weapon is a minigun. It has the highest DPS, which means damage per second, in the game, and that's close up, but suffers from a lot of spread and damage fall off, meaning that it will do a lot less damage from further away. It's most effective close to medium range and has 200 ammo, and just like pyro it'll fire automatically, but this again has to spin up, making you move slower and turn slower. Also this uses so much ammo, so just try and stay near health packs or the payload if you're attacking on the payload game mode. This does 9 damage per bullet which hits, and fires 4 bullets per point of ammo consumed. And actually barely anyone knows about that fact, it's pretty cool. The secondary is the same shotgun that the Soldier and Pyro use, so we don't need to talk about that, and the melee option for Heavy is his fists. Again, these are the same as the shovel and fire axe, but just a reskin, although the fists do have an amazing taunt kill. Like seriously, I love this. The engineer is possibly the smartest and most level-headed of the group. With 11 PhDs and a Texas toughness, he's built a variety of things. His primary is the shotgun, which the Soldier, Pyro, and Heavy uses as secondaries. His secondary is the pistol Scout uses, and his melee is yet another reskin of the others, but it can now upgrade the engineer's building. Now the fourth weapon NG has is the PDA, which he uses to build his things. He has a sentry, a dispenser, and 2 teleporters, with one being the entrance and the other the exit. The engineer has what is called scrap, and he starts with 200, which is his max, and when he spawns, he gets it. But building and upgrading things costs scrap. You can get it back with dispensers or ammo crates. Each building has 3 levels apart from the mini sentry, which replaces the sentry if you have the gunslinger equipped, which is a melee option for battle NGs. Now, get ready, this is about to be a big mouthful, and I might accidentally mess something up. A level 1 sentry costs 130 scrap, and has 150 health with an average DPS of 71 to 84. The level 2 sentry costs 200 to upgrade, so 330 in total, and a health of 180 with an average DPS of 119 to 141, and the level 3 sentry costs another 200 scrap to upgrade, so a total of 530 scrap with a health of 216 and added rockets. Now, if that just sounded like a ton of numbers to you, then fair, it did to me as well. And every few seconds, these rockets fire as well as the guns attached to the sentry. Without the rockets, it has an average DPS of 119 to 141, and with the rockets, the average DPS is 53 to 150 for the rockets. The mini sentry costs 100 scrap and has 100 health with an average DPS of 44 to 56. Yeah, that was a massive mouthful. Now onto the dispensers. At level 1, it costs 100 scrap to build and has 150 health, but instead of attacking, this provides teammates and also disguised enemy spies with 10 health and 20 ammo per second, and provides engineers with 40 metal every 5 seconds. The dispenser at level 2 costs 200 scrap to upgrade, so 300 in total, and has 300 health, providing teammates and disguised enemy spies with 15 health and 30 ammo per second, and then provides engineers with 50 metal every 5 seconds. The dispenser at level 3 costs 200 scrap to upgrade, so 500 in total, and has 500 health, providing teammates and disguised enemy spies with 20 health and 40 ammo per second. Then provides engineers with 60 metal every 5 seconds. I am seriously running out of breath here. Now the teleporters at level 1 cost 50 scrap each and have 150 health with a recharge rate of 10 seconds, but upgrading one teleporter will upgrade the other, so it will be at 200 to upgrade both, making it 300 scrap in total so far to have both out at level 2. This gives them both 180 health with a recharge rate of 5 seconds, basically halving it from level 1. And at level 3 this costs another 200 to upgrade, so it's now 500 health to have both at level 3, and with both now having 216 health and a recharge rate of 3 seconds. Yeah, all these numbers are getting a bit confusing now, aren't they? But yeah, it basically halves again, but rounded up this time. Finally, at slot number 5 is a destruction PDA, which just destroys the building you've made. There isn't much point to this because you can just move them. Your own tactics for the NG is just to defend. He is the best at defense in the game, so just do what he does best and help your team. Obviously, you don't have to stick by this. You can go like battle NG like you can with the medic, and well, speaking of medic, now we have the medic. The medic is the ultimate support class, and the most insane. Being a mad doctor stereotype, he has some pretty insane abilities with 150 health and regen. Medic's primary is the syringe gun, doing 10 damage per hit with 10 syringes every second. The gun can fire 40 times before having to reload. I would just recommend using this to get out of a tight pinch if there's no enemies around. Now onto the most unique weapon of the medic, the medigun. By holding left click with the medigun, it will heal teammates and disguised enemy spies with a healing rate of 24 health per second while in combat, and 72 health per second outside of combat. Also, the medic will overheal targets with 150% of their max health added on. What makes this weapon so unique is the feature called Uber Charge, or Uber for short, and healing will build this Uber, but if you die, you'll lose it. You can activate Uber while holding down right click on a target. It will make you and the teammate invulnerable for 8 seconds as long as you're healing them and stay in range. While in Uber you take no knockback, but the teammate you're healing still will, so they can be pushed away from you, cancelling the Uber. Now, you obviously want to try and avoid this. The melee weapon is called the Bone Saw, and it's another reskin of the stock weapons. Now, with the melee for medic, you want to try and avoid the stock one as well as scout, because you could just be doing better things instead of using it. But obviously, I mean, 65 damage, it's still good. If you need to like just quickly kill someone, then yeah. The medic is the ultimate support class, better than NG, and should always be with a teammate. The best classes to Uber are Heavy and Demo, as they have massive damage and can take out sentry nests really easily, which Demo is better at. Now, I basically never play medic, so they're the only tips I have. The medic is the 8th class and is from New Zealand, being raised in the Australian outback. The sniper is tough and super patient. He has 125 health and its first weapon is the sniper rifle with 1 shot before having to reload, and 25 total. Being zoomed in, this charges his sniper rifle, and the more charged, the higher the damage. Getting a headshot with the sniper rifle will give an instant crit, and each body shot does 50 damage without any charge, and 150 with full charge. Now this obviously scales up the more charge you get, but there is a limit on how much. Then a headshot does 150 damage with no charge, 450 with full charge, able to kill an overhealed heavy, which is incredibly tough. This is incredibly long range and really good for damage. Strategies with this are just trying to stay back and snipe people from far away. The secondary weapon is the submachine gun, or SMG for short, and it can shoot 25 shots before needing to reload, and does 8 damage with each shot, shooting 10 a second. This works at short to medium range best, and this weapon should only be used for finishing someone off, never for trying to kill someone at full health, because your sniper rifle is just so much better at that. The Kukri, at least I think that's how you pronounce it, is the sniper's stock melee and it's the same race skin as most of the others. The sniper is for hanging back and landing shots, so if you can't aim then sniper probably isn't the class for you, but obviously your aim will get better with more practice, so give it a go. The final class is the spy. Being a French genius, they sneak around stabbing people in the back. Literally. Spy is quite arrogant, just like Scout, but he doesn't show it, he just thinks he's better than everyone else. A little bit of trivia, Spy is actually Scout's dad, in the lore. The first weapon Spy uses is a revolver. It has 6 shots before needing to reload, and it's single shot, doing 40 damage per bullet. The secondary is the Sapper. It disables and damages opposing buildings, and can be placed infinitely with no ammo, and no cooldown either. If the engineer hits it with a wrench twice, it'll break. Pyro with the homewrecker or maul can destroy it in 1 hit, and in 2 with the neon annihilator. Then the melee, the knife, does 40 damage per swing, and if you stab an enemy in the back it does 6 times their health, always killing them. The next thing the spy has is a disguise kit, being able to disguise themselves into any enemy or friendly player. To teammates, the spy will appear with a mask of that character on, but to enemies it will appear as their character perfectly with the same speed, cosmetics and weapons. While the spy is disguised, they can't taunt, but they can play sappers, and if they attack it will remove the disguise. Finally, the spy has an invisible watch which can be activated by right clicking. This is called cloaking and will turn the spy transparent for 9 seconds. While invisible, they can collect ammo crates to recharge it, and being disguised doesn't stop you from doing this. You can still be attacked while being cloaked though. A spy should try and sneak around, then backstab enemies while they're distracted, maybe fighting someone else. I would recommend staying away from pyros though, because if they set you on fire, basically you'll always die, with very little exceptions. And with that, we're done. Wow, this took a while. Also, if you're here, thanks for staying till the end. I would really appreciate it if you guys subscribed, as it would motivate me to make more content like this in the future. And if I got any facts wrong, please just say so in the comments below. Just because, I mean, I did quite a bit of research on stuff and I might have got a few things wrong here and there.